It was Sonny's first day of work at the Sodor coal plant, and he was feeling very excited. Before he came to Sodor, Sonny once worked at a coal mine on the mainland, hauling heavy trucks of coal up steep hills. Unfortunately, the mine had closed down, and Sonny was worried he would be sent for scrap. But two men called Baz and Bernie came along and acquired him as their engine. But unbeknownst to Sonny, the two men were actually thieves who stole things to make money. They manipulated Sonny to aid them for their crimes, which the little engine didn't realise was wrong and illegal. When Sonny first arrived on the island of Sodor, his life changed when he met Thomas and learned of a new path of becoming a really useful engine. Soon realising his mistake with Baz and Bernie's companionship, Sonny stood up to the two thieves, only to have his regulator tied in an open position as punishment for his defiance. This caused Sonny to become a runaway and a distraction. After he was saved and Baz and Bernie were arrested in attempting to steal an inventor's blueprints, Sonny was offered a second chance of redemption. On his first official day of work, Sonny was almost sent away, following a mishap with a load of fish. However, he proved himself trustworthy and really useful after he saved Devious Diesel from falling into a construction pit. Some of the engines gained trust in Sonny after this, but there were a few engines who still didn't trust Sonny even after his heroic deed was noticed. However, Sonny would soon discover that he had something in common with someone else on Sodor. As he was making his way to the coal plant, Sonny smiled happily. He was bubbling with excitement to be working with coal again, and he couldn't wait to arrive there. Sonny whistled hello to every engine he passed on the main line, and they'd whistle back. Further up the line, Sonny saw Gordon.
Humph!
Sonny's face fell. He didn't understand why Gordon still didn't trust him.
How can I gain Gordon's trust? There must be a way to make him see that I've changed.
At last, Sonny arrived at the Sodor coaling plant, where the coal plant manager was waiting for him.
Sonny! There you are! Sir Topham Hatt informed me you are coming to help.
A pleasure to be here, sir. Where can I start?
Well, I need you to help Logan by hauling some of the heavy coal trucks up and down the hills leading to the mines.
Not a problem, sir. I worked at a coal mine before I came to Sodor.
That's excellent. Off you go then.
Yes, sir.
Logan was just bringing some loaded coal trucks from the mines when he saw Sonny.
Hello there. You must be the new engine.
Yeah, I'm Sonny. What's yours?
My name's Logan. Best be helping me with these coal trucks.
Sonny saw a line of loaded coal trucks down the incline that were waiting to be picked up.
No problem.
When Sonny backed down the hill to collect the trucks, he noticed a large truck with bold white letters on each side that read Hector.
Hello there.
Huh? Who said that?
I did.
Sonny puffed closer to the truck and found the truck's face on the other side. He looked friendly and kind.
Don't think I've seen you around here before. Who are you?
My name is Sonny. I'm new here to Sodor.
Oh, in that case, welcome to Sodor, Sonny. Name's Hector. Me and the other coal trucks here need to be brought up to the hill on a siding. We will be picked up by Henry later.
Well, I can help pull you lot up that hill, no problem.
Sonny rolled forward and gently coupled up to the line of trucks. Sonny's driver opened his regulator, and as Sonny started to pull, he felt the strain of the heavy train on his coupling.
Are you sure you can handle pulling me and the other trucks? We're more heavy than you think.
Yes! I can!
Sonny gave it all his might as his driver put extra amounts of steam into his pistons. Hector was very surprised as he and the other trucks were pulled up the steep hill by Sonny, who was straining under the weight of the heavy trucks. Once they reached the top and the trucks were dropped off on a siding to wait for Henry, Hector took a moment to regain his composure.
Oh, goodness me, Sonny. You're pretty strong for a tank engine.
Thanks, Hector. You may not have heard of my class, but we small well tank engines gain more steam to help give us more strength.
Throughout the day, Sonny continued to help Logan, hauling heavy coal trucks up and down the incline. It was hard work, but Sonny didn't mind. He was happy to be working somewhere where he had experienced before. Logan had seen how strong Sonny was and was most impressed.
How are you able to manage such heavy loads?
I was built with piston valves. They allow me to control how much steam I use. So in simple terms, I control my strength.
That's amazing! We need more engines like you to help with bigger trains on the main line.
After the day's work was over, Sonny felt tired and he was covered in coal dust. As he settled into the shed with Logan for the night, the coal manager came by with a clipboard in his hand.
Sonny, I can't tell you how happy I am to have you here. With you and Logan working together, and with your amazing strength, we are way ahead of the coal deliveries. I'm proud of you both. You have been really useful today.
Sonny smiled big. He loved hearing those words, as they were in the spark of inspiration to become a good engine instead of a thieving one.
Thank you, sir.
But of course, that doesn't mean we don't have another busy day tomorrow. Get a good night's rest now. Good night.
As Sonny closed his eyes for sleep, he sighed contently. He hadn't felt this happy in a really long time, even more than having to bring the milk to the technology fair. The next morning, Sonny was working hard, helping to pull more heavy coal trucks up and down the hill. Later, he had to bring a line of trucks to be loaded at the coal chute. When the last truck was filled to the brim, Sonny started to push them carefully into the siding. However, the trucks were being a little troublesome that day, and Sonny was starting to have trouble keeping them in control.
Oh, come on, you lot!
Who does this new engine think he is? Telling us where to go. We don't want to move.
Quiet! I want no trouble from you all.
We'll give you trouble, all right.
Just then, there was a loud noise. Sonny stopped pushing the train immediately in hopes of finding the sound, but he wasn't paying attention to what the trucks had planned. Surging together as hard as they could, the trucks pushed themselves forward. Sonny's coupling gave way and the trucks went flying ahead. Sonny gasped in horror as he watched the trucks escape the yard and made their way onto the main line.
Oh no!
The little engine gave chase to the runaway by racing out of the coaling plant and puffed after his train. Sonny put every ounce of steam he had as he chased the trucks down, which were running along the main line at a tremendous speed. Sonny may be a strong engine, but he wasn't as fast.
I've just got to catch them before anyone gets hurt.
Just then, Sonny heard a deep tone whistle in the distance. He could see Gordon and his express heading right towards the trucks on the same line. Sonny huffed and puffed, his fire burning hot, till he finally caught up to the trucks. His fireman carefully climbed onto his front, and with a shunting pole in hand, he managed to couple Sonny to the train of trucks. To give a warning, Sonny peeped his whistle in shrill. Gordon heard the long peep, looked ahead, and saw the oncoming trucks.
Driver! Brakes!
Both engines slammed on their brakes. The trucks screeched and shut their eyes as they braced for impact. Sonny applied his brakes on hard and held on tight as he used his strength to hold the trucks back. Soon, they finally came to a stop. The first truck opened his eyes and saw he was just inches from hitting Gordon's buffers. Gordon looked down as the truck smiled nervously at the big engine.
You silly trucks! What on earth are you doing on the main line?
Gordon looked up and saw Sonny at the back of the train, who was trying to catch his breath.
You set this train of trucks on this line on purpose!
What? No! I just saved you from this incident! But I'm so sorry, Gordon. I got distracted back at the coal plant and...
Distracted? Humph! More like irresponsible and a danger to the rail. How could Sir Topham Hatt allow a troublesome engine like you to work on Sodor? I knew you couldn't be trusted. You could have caused an accident and put the lives of my passengers and crew in serious danger.
Sonny's fire slowly extinguished when he realised Gordon was right. He could have put the lives of many people in danger. Or even worse, someone could have been killed. The little engine reversed, pulling the trucks back down the main line. He was switched onto a siding and allowed Gordon to continue on his way.
You're nothing more than a troublesome engine, Sonny. I've known a few troublesome engines myself back then, and do you know what happened to them? They were sent away, which is what should have happened to you.
Once Gordon was out of sight, Sonny pulled the coal train back to the coaling plant and dropped them off in a siding. He still felt terrible for almost causing an accident that Logan, who was nearby, saw Sonny's sad expression.
Is something wrong?
I lost control of my train, and I almost caused an accident with Gordon. I guess I am troublesome like he says.
Huh? I don't see you as troublesome. You've been a great help here at the coaling plant. You're strong and a hard worker and...
But I was also a thief! I'm tired of engines judging me from my past! Yes, I know I made some mistakes back then, but I want to prove that I'm a changed engine!
Sonny felt really upset that he left the coaling plant before he could shed tears in front of Logan. Logan, on the other buffer, felt sorry for Sonny, that he wished there was a way to make his companion feel better. Meanwhile, Sonny was still upset that he didn't realise where he had puffed away to. When he finally looked up from the tracks, he found himself in a town next to the sea. A lighthouse stood on land and ships were parked in the sea. That Sonny clue that he must be at a harbour. He could feel the gentle sea breeze on his funnel. He could hear the sounds of seagulls and distant ships blasting their horns as they entered the harbour. Sonny couldn't help but look around the town that he didn't see what was up ahead.
Look out!
Sonny looked ahead and quickly braked, just within inches of hitting a boat that stood on the track in front of Sonny.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you in front of me.
Phew. It's okay. No harm done. Say, you're all new, aren't you? I haven't met an engine like you here yet.
Yeah, that's right. But don't bother. I've had some trouble here lately and I just can't seem to get the trust of some engines.
What do you mean?
Well, I've managed to gain the trust of some, but Gordon, he still doesn't trust me. I've been trying my hardest and nothing seems to work. Not to mention I nearly caused an accident earlier and he shouted at me, calling me troublesome. I just... Sorry. I shouldn't take my anger out on you.
The little railboat looked up at Sonny's face and could see tears welling up in his eyes.
I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, how silly of me. Let me introduce myself. I'm Skiff.
And you're a boat on wheels?
A railboat, to be precise.
A railboat? Never seen one like you before.
Well, that makes two of us then. What's your name?
My name is Sonny. I was from the mainland. I came to Sodor a while ago, but...
What's wrong?
Sonny sucked in a breath before he could speak again. He was afraid this little railboat would judge him on his past, like how Gordon did. Taking another deep breath, Sonny explained to Skiff about how he was once owned by two thieves called Baz and Bernie. He described the crimes the trio committed and their arrival on Sodor to steal a fancy new invention. Sonny also mentioned how Thomas gave him the courage to stand up against Baz and Bernie, and in the end, after a final chase, Baz and Bernie were arrested and Sonny was given work on Sodor.
But in order to stay, I had to prove myself trustworthy. However, after an incident with some tipped fish trucks, I almost got sent away, but Diesel, whom I saved from a nasty fall, stood up for me and helped the Gov change his mind. But even after the news of me saving Diesel, Gordon still doesn't trust me. I just want to prove to him that I have really changed.
As Sonny looked away in shame, Skiff felt bad for the newcomer. But there was something about Sonny's story that brought back memories to the little railboat.
Sonny, your story reminds me of mine, in a way.
You? You were used by thieves too?
Only one thief. A pirate, more likely.
A pirate?
Yes, pirates are thieves too, but they steal things by way of sailing.
Sonny listened carefully as Skiff told his own story about Sailor John.
Before I came here to Sodor, I was once in the possession of a man called Sailor John. He was pretty cruel towards me, as he would often stomp and shout at me to stay steady while I was in the water. But I'll tell you a secret, Sonny. I don't really like it when my face is in the water. I wanted to be away from Sailor John so badly, but I had no other choice, as I couldn't really sail off by myself. Anyway, Sailor John was in search of some ancient pirate treasure that was buried by Captain Callus long ago. We searched coastline after coastline for so long, but it wasn't until 3 summers ago when we met Thomas, who discovered Captain Callus's ship itself and the map to the treasure. He offered to help us find the lost treasure, but we had no luck finding it. Unfortunately, the treasure was found by another engine and handed over to Sir Topham Hatt. I thought Sailor John would leave the treasure at the Maritime Museum in Augsburg, but I was proven wrong. Sailor John's true colours came through, for he wanted the treasure for himself. Late that same night, he used me as his escape with the stolen treasure, even though I didn't want any part of his thievery. Thomas gave chase to us on the railway tracks, but Sailor John reached Augsburg Harbour, which is where we are right now. As we tried to escape out to sea, I stood up to Sailor John, only for him threatening to turn me into firewood. I eventually capsized after a wave crashed into the side of me. The treasure sank into the ocean. I floated up on my hull, and police soon came to arrest Sailor John and I. I was ready to accept my fate when I was originally going to be beached on the shore, never to be used again. But Thomas explained how I tried to stop Sailor John and save the treasure. I was therefore given a second chance to be on Sodor. Since then, I was given new colours, a new sail, and I've settled into my new life here, giving tours to visitors both on land and sea.
Sonny was silent for a moment after listening to Skiff's story.
Have you ever been given looks by others who don't think you deserve that second chance?
I actually had. Some of the engines who helped build the Harwick branch line didn't speak to me after the robbery.
Well, they do say redemption isn't easy. Trust me, I know.
But Thomas and another kind engine named Ryan was still friendly to me. It took a while for the two to convince others to trust me as well, but once they realized how I've been a useful tour boat around the harbour, Duck, Oliver and several other engines have gained my trust.
If only I can gain that trust with Gordon.
He's just one engine, Sonny. after hearing your story, you've gained more friends than when you first started. I'd say that's an improvement. I wouldn't get too mixed in with Gordon as much. He'll come around soon. Just keep working hard and eventually everyone would see and trust the new you.
Thanks for understanding my predicament.
My pleasure, Sonny. We'll be thick as thieves. Oh, it's just a statement that Captain Joe taught me. It means we're friends.
Sonny was a little hesitant. The last time he tried making a friend, it was with Devious Diesel. At first, the two got along fine, but when Diesel tricked Sonny into doing Diesel's jobs, Sonny was upset, for he thought their friendship was a lie.
Sure. Friends. Listen, I gotta go.
Okay then. I'll see you around, Sonny.
As Sonny was making his way back to the coaling plant, he was in deep thought about what Skiff had told him. It had never occurred to Sonny that he had shared in the same experience as a thief with Skiff, almost as if the two were really meant to become friends. When he returned to the coaling plant, Logan was waiting for him.
Ah, there you are, Sonny. I was beginning to think you wouldn't come back.
Sonny didn't reply as he looked down at the tracks in front of him.
Is there something on your mind, Sonny?
Well, when I left so abruptly, I ended up in a town called Allsborough and ran into a railboat named Skiff.
Is that so?
Yes. But there was something about him that was so familiar. He and I were both thieves once.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think you're lucky to have a friend who has the same experience like you did. You two have a lot in common.
Before Sonny could speak his thoughts about Skiff's comment of being a friend, the coal plant manager arrived to see both engines.
There you are, Sonny. I got a little concerned when I was told about the near miss with Gordon on the main line.
Sorry, sir. That was my fault. I got distracted by a loud noise, and the trucks were being silly. It won't happen again, sir. I promise.
That's a good engine. Now, back to work with you both.
Sonny sadly set back to work, pushing and pulling heavy trucks of coal. The feeling of guilt for nearly causing an accident with Gordon still hung over his funnel. After the day's work was over, Sonny settled into his berth at the shed next to Logan.
Feeling any better, Sonny?
Not really. I hope the Gub's not going to be mad at me for nearly causing an accident again.
I'm sure the manager's already told him that you were sorry about it. Don't worry, Sonny.
But remember what I said before I stormed out of the coal plant. I'm still having trouble convincing Gordon that I'm a changed engine. What's the point anymore? After that near miss I nearly caused, now he'll never trust me. I'm about to give up hope on changing his mind.
Sonny started to cry bitter tears as Logan looked on. He wished there was something he could say to make Sonny feel better.
Well, did this Skiff say anything to help you? He is your friend after all, and friends...
I don't want to call him a friend just yet, Logan. He's more of an acquaintance. I'm sorry, but I can't trust someone yet to be my friend unless they really mean it.
But what about Thomas? Or me?
Yes, you and Thomas are alright. But the last time I made a friend, his friendship has been a lie to get me to do his jobs instead of caring about me.
Logan wished he knew what to say to comfort Sonny, but he never felt the feeling Sonny was having. The two fell silent for the rest of the evening and soon fell asleep. But Sonny was having a restless night because he had mixed dreams of his past. Huge shadows of Baz, Bernie, Diesel and Gordon were dragged behind Sonny like heavy weights pulled on thick chains. The little engine tried getting free of the chains of his fears, sadness and anger, but his strength was gone. The shadows cackled and said unkind remarks.
I knew you'd be trouble.
You useless engine.
You useless pile of metal. It's not my fault you're silly enough to do my jobs. Thank you, Clot.
Once a thief, always a thief.
There's a scrapyard with your name on it.
You're nothing more than a troublesome engine.
Stop! Please! I can be useful! I've really changed! Please!
Sonny!
The shadows and chains vanished, and Sonny found himself next to a beach. Out in the water was Skiff.
Skiff? How did I get here?
I know that deep down you may not trust me either. But when you first met me at the harbour that afternoon, did I look troublesome to you?
No, but that's not the only reason I'm feeling this way.
Think back on my talk with you. Just keep working hard, and eventually everyone would see and trust the new you.
But I have been working hard at the coaling plant. Is that enough?
True, but maybe you show your strength and trust to others in a different view.
What does that mean?
Before Skiff could reply, Sonny's dream was interrupted by a voice. Everything disappeared as Sonny slowly awoke.
Sonny!
Huh? What?
Didn't you hear me? I said you're to take a train of coal to Knapford shunting yard. Today's the day we deliver the coal to the hoppers.
Oh! Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I'll get ready right away, sir.
Sonny was soon fired up, and he quickly puffed over to a siding, where he found the coal train waiting for him. He was coupled up, and with the all clear from the manager, Sonny left the coal plant on his way to Knapford. He started speeding along the line, putting every ounce of steam he could, getting the coal train to the shunting yards on time. Eventually, Sonny arrived at the town of Knapford. At the station, Gordon was waiting by the platform, getting ready to take his normal express train. Sonny felt his smoke box heat up when he saw the big engine. That he let off a gentle hiss from his cylinders and gave a low growl.
Easy, Sonny. Do you want to get in trouble with the Topham Hatt?
No.
Now, we better get these trucks in line so they can be unloaded.
Gordon looked over and saw Sonny slowly backing his train of coal trucks into a siding. He still felt very angry towards the little well tank for nearly causing an accident with his express.
I hope he gets sent away soon. I hope that Sir Topham Hatt was notified about that near miss with my express.
Just then, the guard blew his whistle and Gordon left in a huff as Sonny had finished delivering the coal trucks. As he watched Gordon's express train disappear out of the station, Sonny could hear Skiff's words from his dream circling in his funnel.
Just keep working hard, and eventually everyone would see and trust the new you.
I suppose it's for the best.
Shortly after, as Sonny was filling up on water, he could faintly hear some voices from the station. Sir Topham Hatt was on the phone in his office, and he seemed upset.
Oh dear. Gordon got stuck on his hill again? What happened now? Boiler tube failure? Oh dear. I see. Well, I'll have to see if there's an engine who can rescue him. Thank you.
Sonny left the water tower and puffed closer to the station to hear more of the news. He could hear Sir Topham Hatt speaking to the station master.
Is Edward nearby? We need him to help Gordon to the next station. Unfortunately, Gordon has had an unexpected blockage in his boiler tube.
I'm afraid Edward is busy at the moment, sir.
Bother! Well, is there any other engine nearby that can help?
I'll do my best to find one, but the big engines all seem to be very busy at this time.
Bother! Who can I find that's strong enough to help Gordon?
Sonny's eyes widened after hearing the conversation. Skiff's words from his dream came back to him as he said,
You show your strength and trust to others in a different view.
Of course! Pardon me, Gov. Perhaps I could rescue Gordon?
Are you sure? I'm not sure you're strong enough to push an engine Gordon's size up the hill, along with the heavy express coaches.
Please, Gov. I want to prove that I have changed for the better. Plus, I was built with piston valves so I control my strength. This shouldn't be a problem for me.
Well, I suppose it's worth a try. But if you're having any trouble, please return to Knapford and we'll send a different engine.
Don't worry, Gov. I can do it.
When Sonny was given the all clear from the station master, the little engine made his way on the main line to Gordon's Hill. Sonny felt a little nervous as he made his way to the big hill. He was worried what Gordon would say when he arrived. But as he rounded the bend, he saw the express coaches and Gordon at a standstill, with hissing steam bellowing around the big engine. Sonny tooted his whistle to inform the passengers and Gordon of his arrival. Some of the passengers waved at Sonny's rescue, but Gordon was not happy.
Oh, the indignity. Of all engines Sir Topham Hatt sent to rescue me, he had to send for him? He and his crew are probably here to rob my passengers.
Sonny felt his anger begin to boil as he buffered up to the brake coach. But Sonny took a deep breath and let most of his anger blow out of his funnel as a steam cloud. His driver coupled him to the brake coach.
Gordon, I'm only here to help you get over the hill into the next station.
You? Pah! An engine of your size simply cannot push me and my coaches over this hill.
Oh yeah? Just you watch me.
His steam pressure increased as Sonny started to push. Little by little, the coaches started to move forward, and then Gordon. Sonny's piston valves pumped steam into a steady rhythm, like a heartbeat through his cylinders, giving him the extra strength needed as he pushed a little faster.
What on earth?
Sonny's cheeks flared and he groaned as he continued pushing. It was a little heavier than stone trucks, but Sonny kept on pushing. Finally, Gordon reached the top of the hill. Gently controlling his engine's brakes, Gordon's driver helped keep the train steady as Sonny pushed the train down onto the other side.
I don't believe it. A tank engine as strong as Henry now.
Soon, Sonny had pushed Gordon's express train to Marin Station. Panting and a little tired, Sonny smiled at his success while the passengers cheered. When Sonny was uncoupled and switched onto another track, he puffed next to Gordon.
Thank you so much, Sonny, for rescuing me. I'm really sorry for doubting you. And for all those things I said about you and about your past life as a thief.
Apology accepted, Gordon.
So, does your forgiveness mean that you trust me now?
Yes. You have earned my trust as I have earned yours in return.
Quite so. I also want to apologize for overreacting about the runaway train of coal trucks nearly hitting me the other day. I should have realized that you were trying to prevent a nasty accident.
Thanks for forgiving me on that, Gordon. At least now you can rely on my trustworthy strength to aid you in need.
Yes, I was really impressed by the rescue. Not to mention, the passengers didn't complain. You've proven to me that you are an honest and trustworthy angel.
Sonny felt proud of himself. Not only did he save Gordon and his express train from being stranded on Gordon's Hill, he finally gained the trust of an engine who had a serious grudge against him. James soon arrived to take Gordon's express the rest of the way, while Sonny helped push Gordon to the steamworks to have his boiler tube fixed. Later, before Sonny headed back to the coal plant, he felt a sudden desire to return to Alsborough Harbour to speak to someone. When he arrived, the gentle sea breeze blew across his funnel. He took a deep breath as he took in the salty air and listened to the cries of seagulls. As Sonny looked towards the lighthouse, he saw a familiar boat. He smiled as he knew who it was. The blue well tank engine puffed up close to Skiff, who was resting after taking some visitors on a tour of the harbour.
Oh, hello, Sonny. I didn't expect to see you so soon. What made you come here?
I wanted to thank you for giving me comfort the other day. And the confidence I needed to finally gain Gordon's trust.
Gordon trusts you now?
Yes. I saved him in the express after he had a boiler tube failure. I pushed Gordon and the train all the way to the next station without any assistance.
He must have been grateful for that.
He was. He apologised for doubting me and even thanked me for saving him. I didn't think I would ever gain Gordon's trust, but your words were right.
My words?
Yeah. I had a dream after I first met you. And after having a bit of a nightmare, you came into my dream and gave me comforting words. And...
Sonny paused for a moment. Skiff looked up and saw Sonny close his eyes. A single tear fell from Sonny's eye as he smiled gently.
You okay, Sonny?
Yes, I am. I have something to ask you, Skiff.
Yes?
Would you like to be my friend?
Yes, I would. I'd like that very much. Thank you, Sonny.
No problem, friend. So, what do you want to do first, friend?
Well, when I first met Thomas, I really enjoyed how he pushed me down the tracks. It felt like I was a real engine.
Oh, so you like to go faster than you usually go?
Oh, yes!
Sonny smiled as he switched tracks, gently puffed up behind Skiff and gave him a gentle nudge with his buffers. Skiff smiled warmly as his new friend gave him a gentle push around the harbour and onto the main line. From there, Sonny gained a little extra speed and the two friends began laughing as they travelled. At Elsbridge Station, Thomas was waiting for his passengers to board Annie and Clarabel before they started their journey on Thomas's branch line. Before the last passenger door was shut, Thomas could hear laughter coming from the opposite track. Then, rounding the bend, he saw Sonny pushing Skiff and the two were enjoying each other's company.
They sound like they're having a wonderful time. Indeed.
I'm glad Sonny made a new friend, but I had no idea it would be Skiff. They must have something in common.
And the two friends did. Sonny and Skiff were once thieves, but they had a moment in their life where they were given a second chance of redemption. As any person would say, two friends are as thick as thieves. And that's exactly how anyone could describe the friendship between Skiff and Sonny.